Come on. Let's stream. Let's get streaming. I gotta reconnect. I gotta fucking refresh this thing. Do. I'm loving it. All right, I think we're free. Charge my mouse. All right, what's up, everybody? It's the Arty 84 show live here. Episode, what episode? 236. As always, Adam the Mallet to the left of me. We got a big night tonight. Mr. Sriracha. What do you want to talk about first?
I don't know. I don't know where we start. We start with the NFL draft. Well, I suppose we should start with the NFL draft because it starts in 2 minutes, right?
Yes, with the draft. You know, for the NFL being really good with their media, they're really stuck on their page right now. I'm trying to navigate to find an easy way to get the draft information here, and it's just stupid. Oh, here it is. Okay, now we go.
NFL Draft Live. That's what I Googled. I'm on the NFL website, NFL.com. So
yeah, that's why I am too. So where'd you click to get?
I just Googled. I just went through Google, and it ended up bringing me right to it. It was like the first selection. It was let me go back. I typed NFL Draft Live, and then the second option is 2023 NFL Draft Tracker.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me try that. If that gives me a look here. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Exactly that exact page. For some reason, it brought me on to the mock draft shit, and I'm like, all right, we don't need mock drafts. It's the real thing tonight. Come on, kids, let's get the story. So Carolina Panthers traded up. Bears originally had the first pick. They traded it for a wide receiver, right? Who the hell was it? It was
Well, it's at Chicago. Yeah, it looks like Chicago originally had it.
Yeah, and Carolina traded a wide receiver for the first pick. So with that said, Carolina's going to be getting a quarterback, I would imagine, right? That would be the idea. So we get that in mind. Do you think Houston and the Cardinals are going for quarterbacks too?
Cardinals, no. Cardinals are definitely not. I wouldn't. That's why I didn't want to gamble on that position because they're more than likely to trade out of it. They might not, but they're not going for a quarterback. 100% they're not. The Texans have said the Texans have said they're not going for a quarterback, but I find that hard to believe at the number 2. I think that's just smoke and mirrors. And some of the odds for all of a sudden magically within the last hour, CJ Stroud's odds are now plus 3,000 that he's going to be the number 2 pick. So. But before I got him at plus 300. So actually, that's
okay. Well, that's good. So you got him pretty better. So because Cardinals really don't need a quarterback. I mean, and then the teams after there, like Indianapolis Colts,
they need a quarterback. Yep.
And the Seahawks wouldn't hurt having a quarterback. I mean, at least. I mean, how long is Geno Smith going to last?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a necessity, but they could do for one. But I mean, definitely.
Someone's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if someone nice is sitting there, they'd snatch him. And Detroit could use a quarterback too. So
no, they're not giving up yet on Fields yet. I think they're going to go O-line for him to give him better protection. That's what I think.
But wait, who?
The Bears.
The Lions?
Oh, I thought you said Bears. My bad.
Oh yeah, no, the Bears not going until 9th, but I think by that point, the quarterbacks will be gone. Las Vegas doesn't need a quarterback. They get Jimmy G.
They could go for a quarterback though. Jimmy G is not exactly.
Yeah, who the fuck's quarterbacking for the Falcons these days? I don't even remember.
They have a pick from last year that they're grooming, so I wouldn't expect them to take. They're projected to take Bijan Robinson, the running back, but I find it hard to believe a running back is going to go in the top 10. So, but stranger things have happened. Anything can happen in the draft, so it's who the fuck knows. The only sure in it is the only sure bet is the number 1 pick this year. Everything else is kind of Bryce is definitely going number 1. That's
you think so?
Oh, 100%. I would wager a testicle.
Yeah. What was he doesn't want to play for Carolina?
Oh God. I don't think I don't know. Is there a Manning that's his relative? I don't know if that's
So you still win the bet. So say that he gets picked by Carolina, right? And then it is an agreement with some other team that they will trade him immediately afterwards. You still won the bet though, because he was actually drafted by Carolina, right?
Yeah, I didn't pick him though because it was I would have won 10 cents. It wasn't worth even putting $1 on. Plus my account now is almost liquidated because all my money's tied up in the fucking Bruins. Who, if they closed last night, I would have more money right now. But that's okay.
Yeah, isn't that nice? You got anything in the Celtics closing tonight too?
No, all my money's tied into the Bruins. I did lose some money against who lost? Was it who the fuck was
Milwaukee.
it? Yeah, Milwaukee lost. Yeah, so
Yeah, I told you I didn't think that was a sure thing, but I like remember we were talking about like what's the odds of them winning? I mean, statistically they should have won,
yeah,
but
no,
I think
they battled injury, but so did
yeah,
Miami.
Giannis was injured. So I think what happened with Giannis was he was injured the entire time. You're gonna find out he was more injured than we thought he was. He just didn't play well. And Miami is kind of banged up too. But I mean, if the Celtics can't win tonight and close this out, and if they get taken out of the playoffs, it would be a shame. It would be a mockery. It'd be an embarrassment
Yeah,
because their path right now to get to the championship is so simple. Because now you have an 8 seed sitting out there playing the Knicks, right? And then we play Philadelphia. We are good against all the teams that are left. The hottest team that was going to be there was Milwaukee. We already beat them before. Now we don't even have to play them. So, and then all the teams in the West, statistically, if you match them up to the East, the best of what team would be a 5 or a 6 seed in the East. So it's not even the fact that these teams are just easily beatable. It's the fact that if the Celtics can't get out of their own way with this 7 seed Atlanta team that's not even that good. You know, they're just playing out of their ass. You know,
the Knicks should take that though, then, right? Technically,
you
would think.
I don't know. Here's the thing about the Knicks. I don't believe. I know Joe at work was talking about how he's afraid of the Knicks. I don't really believe in the Knicks. I think they're a decent team, but they're too sporadic. I think Miami's the better team, discipline wise, because you got a better coach. You have Sproles was like one of the best coaches in the NBA, probably the best coach in the NBA right now. I would go out there and say it. He can take shit teams and make good shit out of them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can make gold out of shit teams just because of his stat. Because he's a Pat Riley disciple, so he basically coaches exactly like Pat Riley did. So, but
the consensus for Miami seems to be though that like Jimmy Butler's not going to put up 40-50 points a game every game, and they're banged up.
No.
So.
Yeah, they don't have what's his face? Tyler Herro is injured, so that hurts Miami a lot. You know, and Philadelphia plays the Celtics hard all season long. You get the Doc Rivers effect there, but at the same time, it's Philadelphia. They get in their own way. They trip over their own feet. So it's like, you know, I'm not really worried too much about them as long as the Celtics. Put it this way, the Celtics should have won on which Tuesday night, and the reason they should have won is they're up by 10 points, 5 minutes left. You don't shoot 3-pointers for no fucking reason whatsoever, and then get yourself in foul territory. What they did, if there was a textbook of how to lose that game, watch the last 5 minutes of that game. That's exactly how you lose a game. They did everything you're supposed to lose the game. It's unbelievable. Like, you're watching, so frustrated, saying that, like, are they not listening to the coach? Is the coach just stupid and not knowing what he's doing, or are these players going rogue and off the reservation, and then they kind of just doing their own thing and they're not listening to plays? You know what I mean? I think some players, yeah, but I think it's hard to believe. And then obviously you got the factor, which is that young guy was shooting threes from half court and getting them in. The guy couldn't miss a 3-pointer. It was unbelievable. It was like he was like possessed by some basketball god. Like, it was like Space Jam. Like you know what I mean? Like, they go into the cartoon characters, start dominating. So I don't think that kid's gonna be that lucky tonight, to be honest with you. I mean, just like you said, with Butler being so hot those last couple of games, I don't think that's something that's gonna be prolonged. But you know. Yeah. Have we started the draft yet, or is it coverage start at 8 and it starts at 8:30 kind of thing?
Yeah, that could be it. You know how it goes. Yeah, that could be it, or like 8:15, or who the fuck.
Yeah. What I want to talk about. Are you familiar with the show? I think it's Wednesday. That's on Netflix. It's been
on a while. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Yeah, it's the Addams family.
Right. So it's the Addams family based practically around the character of Wednesday, right?
That fucking dance everywhere I look for like a month and a half. Yeah.
Well, I should put the brakes on the chair. I just that's what I want to talk about. It's a stupid dance. I was on watching 45 minutes of, because I see the dance all the time. And then I didn't realize the dance had anything to do with the show. And then I started digging deep, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's a weird scene when she's in the dance and she's doing this crazy dance and stuff like this. And then like Lady Gaga did a dance with her song doing the dance. And now everyone on TikTok does that dance.
Still? That's been going on for like a month now, 2 months. Like, still going strong, huh? Jesus.
I got 5 TikToks on the road today. We're all the dance in a row. So I don't get it. I don't get the dancing on TikTok. I just don't get it. I just don't understand it. I don't understand why people would just want to set up a camera and dance.
Well, it's a chick thing. Girls love that kind of stuff. And then, what? Teenage girls love to shake their ass. So.
But other girls aren't watching it. Guys like perverted Indians are watching it if their hog's out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm watching. I'm like, who is this for? It's not for me. I don't. I like content. Like I like the comedies. I go watch the skits on TikTok. Like they do a little comedy. Like even though
there's some funny ones out there.
Some interesting stuff. But the dancing, I just don't get the dances. Or like the girls who just like play like music in the background, and they just have like little like captions, and then just their face going like this.
Yeah, I don't get it either. That's how you know we're getting old, because we don't get it.
I guess not. Well, there's a girl that was my age. I went to high school with. I follow her TikTok, and she just talks about her ex constantly, like obsessively on it. I bet he misses me now. I bet he wishes she was there. And like different captions and stuff, and different music playing and stuff. Like it was just sad.
Yeah.
Her ex is touring the world. I follow him on Instagram. He's everywhere. She's just talking about guys missing her. I just don't get it. Don't understand it. Probably won't never understand it. Yeah. Like I can't imagine just setting up the camera in my bedroom and just starting dancing.
I mean, I guess like below a certain age, I can see why girls might be into it. They find it fun, and it's like, oh look, there's music, and they can do all these things, and it's fun. I get that, and they haven't realized like sexuality yet. Like kids that are like under 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can get that, but like when you're a teenager, you know what you're fucking doing.
Oh yeah, you're shaking your ass. Yeah, you're a couple of clicks away of having your own OnlyFans set up.
Yeah, exactly.
There is an interesting bill being processed right now in our government, and it's to prevent children under the age of 13 to be on social media. Kind of like a age restriction kind of thing, like they established over the years of drinking ages, cigarette ages, movie ratings and stuff. And I don't know. I'm more on the line of yes, I'm for this restriction. So basically, it would allow someone to be able to open an account under the age of 18 if they're over 13 with their parental consent. So they need a parent needs an account. It needs to link their account to them, so the parent has control over the account. So some random 13-year-old can't just set up their own account, right, until they're an adult. I get that. It makes sense. It kind of gives them some money. So you don't know what these kids are talking to. I mean, I know what I was doing online back when it was the Wild West, back in 95 and 96, right? I can only imagine what the kids are doing these days, right? Mm-hmm. So, and having kids, I do think that's a good idea. And then once they're 18, they can do whatever the fuck they want. They're adults, you know what I mean? I don't think kids under the age of 13 should have their own social media accounts. No, that it should have their own cell phones at that matter. But I mean, you could find someone who's going to argue against that, I'm sure. But I don't know. What do you think? I think it's kind of kooky.
I agree. The problem is, though, you're going to have parents like, I agree with the whole cell phone thing, too. But then you're going to have that one parent who like, oh, well, Chelsea's parents let her have a cell phone, and then you have to listen to that shit. You know what I mean? And it's but I agree with you. I
mean, that's fine. If a parent wants to go and set up an account, right, for their kid and doesn't give a fuck about what they do and everything, that's on the parent.
Yeah.
I think it's more or less too like more of like a liability thing for like these like social media companies as well, making sure they don't get in trouble. Like God forbid something like horrific happens, right?
Well, also too, it's not good. I mean, all the studies that have come out show that social media is not good for your mental health. Like I truly feel like if I was more involved in social media, my mental health would not be good. Like I think I'm a happier person. Like studies have shown you're a happier person if you're not involved in social media. Like, sure. And I believe that. Because I'm actually a pretty happy person.
To be honest with you, all Facebook is full of these days are angry middle-aged like boomers. It's full of boomers. Facebook has been taken over by baby boomers. Like kids don't. From what I understand, a lot of kids don't even use Facebook these days.
No, but they use the other ones.
But that's TikTok and Instagram. They're like quick movies, quick pictures and stuff. Facebook is more like a forum, right? It's more like everyone goes in there and they just. It's all middle-aged boomers and old people just getting angry and just talking shit online. They like reliving their childhood because they're never able to do it before because it wasn't around when they were younger, right?
That's true.
But if you go you'll go to these groups and stuff like this. It's not like if you go into a group in Facebook, Carolina's on the clock, by the way.
On the clock. Yep.
If you like go in these like groups and stuff and you're looking for some constructive hey, I need a good place to eat. Is Bob's restaurant on Broadway any good? That place fucking sucks. Blah blah blah. You don't get any all you get is just angry people who would never in a million years say it to your face or say it to the people that work there's face.
Yeah,
You know
the
what I mean?
cowardly little
It's like Yelp
bitches.
reviews and stuff, you know? Cowardly, not even like cowardly middle-aged people. Like my parents
Yeah.
just rip and rant about stuff. Now, I would probably be off Facebook altogether if it wasn't for the kids because I could post. But if I had enough family that was on like say Instagram where I just post the pictures and I didn't have to deal with the whole Facebook shit, I'd probably get rid of it altogether because it's something about a fucking pain in the ass to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get any. We don't pull any traffic from there. It's just all it is. It's just a clusterfuck of fuckery basically. To be quite frank with you. I mean, we stream the show on there, but we also stream on 4 other platforms as well. So it's not even like, it's the only one. So it's like,
Yeah.
you could find other ways around. I think Facebook's like a few years away of being like MySpace, right? Being an abandoned social media platform, which is
because everyone's attention span is getting smaller and for video.
Right.
And I do wonder what the next big thing will be after TikTok. Like there's always going to be something else a couple years later. Because I remember when TikTok came out, I was like, oh yeah, I remember this when it was called Snapchat. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But it's just tweaked a little bit, so what
Snapchat lasts forever. Right.
I wonder what the next tweak will be after TikTok,
So so TikTok just changed something lately. You can do up to 10-minute movies now. Before it was the most you could do was like 2.5 minutes. So now I think what happened is I think the people at TikTok are trying to, because their biggest competition is YouTube, basically, at the end of the day, right? So I think
YouTube has shorts.
And they did shorts, but the shorts are only 60 seconds long, no longer than that, right? Any longer than that, you have to actually put a video on a full platform. So I think with the TikTok people, where they did some research and realized, okay, people need a little bit more than 2.5 minutes sometimes, but like after 10 minutes, because the average video on YouTube is about 7 to 8 minutes long. So in order to be monetized, you have to have at least an 8-minute video. Okay. So that's like the sweet spot. So TikTok's like, all right, so 8's usually what people aim for, because that's, if you're being monetized, that's where you're going to be able to get some money off of it. Yeah. And so they tweaked their algorithm a little bit to, or I should say the algorithm, their programming a little bit so they can accommodate larger videos, I guess. But the only thing I don't like about TikTok is that the stupid TikTok thing bounces around. So like it's tough to retrieve raw video from it if you need to like archive it without having the stupid TikTok.
I see.
But I also noticed that YouTube Shorts does that, because I had to download a YouTube Short the other day that I had posted, and YouTube Short does the same exact thing. Is a water stamp that goes and fucking covers the entire thing while you're watching it. Like it's really small and you really wouldn't notice it unless you're like looking for it. But like if you're trying to like salvage the video as like some raw, to be raw basically to use for something else, it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? So it's just a weird, I wonder what the next thing is. And then Instagram has Reels, and Reels you could do up to 15 minutes. So that's a whole nother thing. But basically that's Facebook. I mean, at the end of the day, Facebook is Instagram, the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand. Or I should say Facebook. What is it called? Meta?
Yeah. Kind of change the subject. Sorry to bring this up, but I was watching this the other day. Do you remember a show on MTV called Room Raiders?
Oh yeah. And they used to come in and they would oh my god, it would be 2 separate people, right? It would be like a girl goes to a guy's room and a guy goes to a girl's room, and they go into the closets and they go into the drawers and under the bed and all this
horrible
stuff. And what was the premise? To redo the room? It was like a room makeover. Is that what?
No, it was a dating show. Like the guy had
that's right.
Yeah, and he had this. It's so gross and pervy. He gets a kit, like a suitcase of like gloves and like tongs, and like he gets to go through their room, and like it's so fucking pervy. Like I was watching it, I'm like, that's right. Horrible.
Because he would go to 3 different rooms and he'd pick the girl based on their room. That's the one he was going to date for the thing. Yeah, I remember. Okay, yes. And like a girl would go into a guy's room and be like his 30 gym shots. But then I remember what did that come out? 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, it's like the worst thing MTV's ever done. It really is.
And then it's like when you look at it now, it's like, like imagine like you going through like the dirty panties, and like, ooh, look at this. Like, I mean, you would be able to, and then I don't, maybe they did, and I just didn't ever pick it up. Was like you could see if the girl was going to be a big girl or not just by basically her bras or her like shirt. Like if you
they were all Abercrombie girls. They were all fucking Abercrombie girls. So let's like, I was watching the episode.
And it had to be like set up to an extent too.
Oh, for
like,
sure. Yeah. And it's funny at the end of the episode when like he picks one of the girls. Well, they like belittle him. They like we totally rag on him. The ones that he didn't pick. They're like, "Oh, he said I had a big ass. As you can see, I don't." Like,
right. It is a weird concept. I wonder. So they have shows similar to that these days. Like you date a person based on like they have the matching one where like a professional picks your mate to marry. Married at First Sight, it's called.
Yes.
And so you have no idea. All it's going on is basis of what you liked in a girl. You know what I mean? So like, if you're not honest and you don't like big girls, and you never said you didn't like big girls, you probably might get a big girl. I'm just gonna say it out there. So if you're going to be, we try to get Eric on the show because they were filming a season in Boston about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was gonna do his like thing where I'd film him and do his like intro video to like submit to see if he makes a show. But
there was another dating show too where like you wear prosthetics and like makeup to hide what your face really looks like, and both of you do, so you don't really know what the other person is. So you go on a date, but like not all prosthetics are equal. Like I don't care who you are. Like if your face is like makeup, like there's normal costumes, and then there's like I don't care what it's like. I don't want to be in that. So you should see some of these costumes. It's like beyond furries. It's weird. It's fucking weird.
There's also a show on MTV called X on the Beach. Are you familiar with this one?
I am not.
So you have your girlfriend. So you and your girlfriend go to an island, right? And you and 4 other couples go to an island, right? But who also goes to the island, and they don't tell you until you get there, is one of your exes.
That's fucked up.
And the entire show is the ex trying to, it's like all ex, it's the exes who want a second chance type thing, right? And they're trying their hardest to steal this girl back from you before the island adventure is over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is kind of kooky though, because you figure they probably take some like 2 weeks to film this. I know when I made it to the finals for the Lego show on Fox, when I made it to like the second interview, basically they told me it was 2 weeks lockdown in Atlanta. So I'd go to, and this was during COVID, so it would have sucked. You weren't able to leave the hotel room. Basically, you had to stay in there when you were filming.
Bryce Young.
The guy said, there you go. Yeah, I see that. So that's what we got. Anyways, there you go. We basically the contract said that we had to sign before we got picked was you film for 14 days basically. So you get there and you could be filming anywhere between 8 hours to 12 hours each day. So they bang out like the whole season in 2 weeks, and then they all cut it up and everything. So like every day is a new episode basically for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? It's pretty exhausted when you think about it. You know what I mean?
Well, I remember there was dating in the dark too, where you don't see the person. I remember that one. And I remember that early 2000 stuff era was interesting because it was so experimental. They were just throwing everything at the wall to see what would stick. It would be like the weirdest premise. And there was like so many of them, especially on MTV when they didn't know what the fuck they wanted to do. Hello? Hello?
Oh, I got you. There you go.
There you are. Thought I lost you for a sec.
Well, it like I'm back on that too. Like throwing stuff in the wall and see if a stick was like because they had so much success was singled out.
Yes, that's the other one I was thinking. I forgot that was with Jenny McCarthy, right?
Right. And then Carmen Electra took it over, but that was like the first dating game of our generation on MTV. And you remember they would have 50 girls, 50 guys.
It was great.
And you would be like, do you like walking on the beach or do you like hiking in the woods? And if you picked, I like walking on the beach, everyone who likes hiking in the woods would leave. And then they would walk by the guy so you could see what you're missing out on, basically.
I loved that show. Chris Hardwick was the other host. Yeah, that was a good show. I actually enjoyed that.
Great concept. Yeah. I did too. I was like, I mean, at 10 years old, I was like, how do I get on this show? Like, this is great. You know what I mean? It was kind of a true to a like show because you're actually picking girls based on what they like in accordance to you rather than what they look like because you don't know what they like. It's just a random kind of thing, you know?
It kind of ruined my image of Jenny McCarthy, though, because prior to that, I had this image of her like, playmate. You know what I mean? And I remember she was like one of the first girls like kind of drooled over as a kid. And like then she's on Singled Out and she's like making fart jokes and like sticking her tongue out and doing like all this shit. Like that's just not ladylike. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be You
think her and Donnie Wahlberg do that kind of stuff now, you know?
Oh, probably, yeah. Well, remember she was with Jim Carrey for a while, and then she said some weird shit about not believing in medications and shit. Like
right.
getting your kid like basic, like I'm talking like very basic immunization shots.
Like measles and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim Carrey's an interesting guy.
Well, he's not that bad. He's just weird. He's a weird dude.
Yeah, he's weirdo.
She's a nut, I think. But.
Yeah, Jenny McCarthy's a little off the reservation a little bit, but I mean, her and our, we get to really get. Hey, listen, if he's a local guy, he got a movie star. Donnie Wahlberg, local guy. It's like Joe Sixpack sitting at the bar down there in Southie.
Yeah, he got her after she was already banged up and way past her prime.
I'm sure that airport has a little damage to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that landing strip is Baghdad.
Sure, all the infrastructure isn't quite up to what it used to be. You know what I mean? I'm sure it has seen some miles. It's an old airplane, you know what I mean? Yeah. But they're also 50 years old too, so I guess you can't really say much at that point, right? You know what I mean? Or almost 50 at that point. Oh, Donnie Wahlberg's got 50 years old, right?
Yeah. Oh, easily. Marky Mark is got to be close to 50 too. He was older. He was always older than us. So
right. So yeah. So
damn, everyone's getting so fucking.
Oh, dude, tell me about it. It's like this is it. Well, you're in your 40s, technically. I'm still in my 30s, but
sure.
only for a little month.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone at the bar. It was like this older couple, and they were like, I was talking about the Bruins and the Garden, some fun facts. Oh, they weren't, because they were from like down south, and they thought the ice would melt in the summertime at the Garden, and I had to explain to them like fundamental refrigeration for floors. But I did bring up how like in the 80s the old Garden was so bad it didn't have a very good air conditioning system inside there. So when the Bruins would make it to the cup, the ice would melt, and during the basketball games, the ice would melt through the basketball court. And they're like, "Well, you have all this knowledge, but you don't look like you're more than 15 years old." Now, granted, they were old, so they're
the ice situation was kind of interesting. It is kind of a balancing act because a lot of people just think, "Oh, just make it really cold and it's all fine." No, because if it's too cold, then it can crack.
Right.
So it's like you do have to keep it at a certain balance,
Yeah. Right. But it's like when they think of the ice, it's only like a quarter of an inch thick. It's not even that thick at all. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just a layer of liquid. But then they put a rubber membrane over it, and then they put the basketball court up. So in LA, right? Put it this way: imagine being in LA. The Lakers, the Clippers, and the Kings, the hockey team, all play at the Staples Center, and they're all in the playoffs right now. These guys are literally switching it over and the Lakers and the Clippers have different courts. A completely different court. So They're going to peel one up to put up. So would you imagine working at that place? There was a period of time where in 36 hours, the guys had to change the court like for three different games.
Where do they store all that stuff? Like
those things go deep into the basement.
Yeah.
Like, all right. So well, you kind of seen it. Remember when we went to the Celtics game and we went to the press conference afterwards, and they took us into like underneath the stands where like buses and stuff are pulling in, like
like
go karts, like golf carts and stuff underneath there. Yeah, that's where like all the storage is. So like over there, because like the floor and for the basketball is only like 4 feet by 4 feet, and the hockey wall stays there the entire time. We just don't see it because they pull seats over it. You know what I mean?
And the Texans selected CJ Stroud, just like I thought.
Did you bet that one? Or?
Yeah, I did. Before it went, I bet it when the line was way forgiving. Like I bet it $1, I got 4. Now, if you bet $1, you get 5. You get 5 cents. Yeah,
isn't that nice? What about what do you get for the Cardinals? Did you bet anything for that, or you just skip that?
No, one? I didn't want to touch it because I thought they had a good chance of trading it.
That's right. You did say that. Looks like
I don't know what they'll do if they keep it. They're going with a defense or an O line. They're definitely going with either O line or defense.
Yeah, because when you click on it, it says DLCB O line. There you go.
Yeah.
What the Pats need? Everything. This is a button that says everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't fuck with that one either.
Did they do 1 round tonight or 2? Probably 1, right?
Oh, good question. I think just 1.
This used to start on Friday. They used to do 2 rounds Friday night, 1 and 2, and then Saturday was the rest of it. When did they change it to Thursday?
I know.
First Thursday.
No, because I remember this was similar last year. We were doing this on podcast.
Maybe they did it last year. I remember being at a bar on Friday night in New Hampshire this time of year, watching the drafts, and it was a Friday night for sure. I knew it was because I left work to go up there, and it was the year Jimmy Garoppolo got traded. I mean, got drafted because they did the 2 rounds. They did 1 and 2, right? Because like Garoppolo was second round, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Or maybe they did 1 round on Friday. No, but Garoppolo got drafted. Maybe I just didn't realize they start on Thursdays. I don't know. Maybe it's just like I guess it makes sense to have it on a Thursday, but because they spread it over like 3 days, don't they?
Yeah.
They'll go right into Saturday.
Yeah. But how many rounds does baseball have?
God, like 20 or something. I mean, they have like I don't
That's
think there's
so crazy.
I think baseball just drafts until you don't want to draft anymore. I don't know if they have any set rounds. I really don't. I'm trying to think because they draft so many freaking people and they just don't. I mean, because they can draft people who are still in high school, higher and eligible for the draft, or I should say eligible, don't even want to go. Like, remember, like they drafted Tom Brady out of high school. You just put your claim on the person. And how long does that claim last for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I'm not big on. You know what? When we're at work tomorrow, I want to do some digging. It's Friday. You know, I'm curious now. Yeah.
Because I'm curious if you say you drafted Ken Griffey Jr. out of high school, right? And he goes, no, I decided I'm going to go to college. Does that draft pick go away into the oblivion, and now he's re-eligible to draft again? It would make sense, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But like, I guess you would have to have. I guess they do enough vetting out by talking to the players, knowing if they're actually going to play or not, or you know what I mean, like with the whole Peyton thing when Eli thing when he was drafted about the trade.
See, now I'm pumped. Now I'm wondering if the 4th pick. I have Anthony Richards for the Colts quarterback going. Now, This is where we find out if frickin' Millis was all smoke and mirrors, because earlier in the week, all of a sudden it jumped up that he was going to be the number 2. Some random Reddit post leaked that he was going to be the number 2 or number 1 pick. And I thought it was bullshit anyway, because I thought the timing of it was speculative, and it's proven to be bullshit. So now I'm curious where the Colts go at 4. And I'm wondering if it's going to be Richardson, because no one was really talking about him. So usually the player you draft isn't necessarily the one you're the loudest about because you don't want other teams getting it.
Right.
I haven't really heard anybody talk that loudly about Anthony Richardson, even though he seems to be one of the more dynamic quarterbacks in this draft. So I'm wondering if the Colts are going to go for him or if they're going to go Millis, but we'll see.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But we're still in Arizona right now, so they might be trying to trade that pick last minute. Well,
or they already made who's their quarterback? Was it Fields?
They're giving him too much money. No, the fucking short guy.
What the hell is it?
The short black. Oh man.
Trey Lance is in San Francisco, right?
Oh God. What's my brain?
I said he was like an overrated quarterback like 3 years ago.
Yeah, he's injured. He's rehabbing right now.
He's the best quarterback ever. And then
it's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray. It's Kyler Murray. Sorry.
Yeah. That's it. Yes. Runs his ass off. His accuracy is he gets hurt a lot. Maybe they already have an agreement where they trade him away after they draft. You know what I mean? Like maybe some team just wanted him and didn't want to do a draft pick kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because the Cardinals had it in their own pocket. Like they don't need to move up any faster. Maybe like, all right, they're drafting a player for that team. That happens before. Like you make an agreement, like an unsaid agreement, like, all right, I'll draft so and so for you, and then I'll trade you so and so for kind of thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. That could be the case. But like you said, this is ridiculous. This is milking the freaking clock. This draft's been on for 20 minutes and they're only figuring out the 3rd pick right now.
Yeah.
You know who you pick. You have your list, don't you not? Right?
Unless you're making phone calls right now in your Arizona and you're like, can we swing this? What do you want? You know what I mean?
You could, but I mean, you should have some kind of sense of idea. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to always the guy in the friggin' the Lion's going to hold you on the phone to the last possible second. He's like, I don't.
In fact, if I was picking right before my rival, I would immediately announce mine. And then, because then immediately it's going to go to them. And what if they're not ready?
Right. That's actually a good idea, right? And it'd be even better if you picked the guy that they were going to pick and then they fucked everything up.
Yeah, now they're like, oh.
It's actually a pretty funny idea. And then you'd probably get fined by the NFL for speeding up the draft. Like, Big sorry, we gotta milk this thing to at least 11:30. I guarantee this draft will probably go on past the Celtics game tonight. The Celtics haven't even started yet.
Yeah, probably. I could see that. Yeah.
I'll tune in and I'll be usually the Patriots have a first round draft. They could still trade this away too. So anything's possible.
They could.
Oh, why are there only 31 picks today?
Oh shit.
Who lost the draft pick?
They traded it to the Texans. So the Texans have the 3rd pick now too.
Oh shit. Okay. Wow, that's a hell of a trade, huh?
Oh wow, they're going up the line here. They're gonna wow.
Wide receiver DL is when their needs are. That's a pretty what did they trade that? Oh, does it say?
It just said pick is in, but the Texans logo is there. So
yep, I just need to change it. And I'm trying to see if I click on it. I want to see if I can have like a drop down of like what they traded.
So Arizona now moves to 12th. Okay.
Was there any other things involved in there?
No, I don't. That's all it says because I just scrolled down to see where now Arizona's next pick is, and they're 12th.
I do see pick number 4, Houston as well. Houston's just going out all over this draft. The draft is in them.
Interesting. Indy on the clock.
That changed some things, huh? Is there any good wide receivers in this draft? I don't know anything about this draft.
They're all not really. It's pretty. The class is kind of. They're all short. They're all like tiny. They're not really built. They need steroids. I'm off of steroids.
Yeah.
They should start.
What's the biggest position coming out of this one? Do you think that's the most available?
Probably defense. There's a few corners and edges on here too.
All right. So and they just got a
Will Anderson. Yeah, he was actually their pick to go favorite to go second. So I guess they decided to move up and get both of them and using their second and third. That was smart. The Texans actually did something smart. I am shocked. Wow.
All right. Am I retarded? What the fuck is an edge? Is that an outside linebacker or a defensive end?
Yeah.
Have I never heard that saying before? Is this like this 0 days being old here an edge?
Yeah.
Is that a new term? Have I just never listened to it before?
Yeah, it's a linebacker. Yeah, it's like a corner, like a outside linebacker. Or it could also be a defensive end. Yeah.
Right. I just never heard that area of the defense ever referred to as edge before.
You know what? I've heard it. I've just never seen it on the draft.
Yeah, right.
Like I've never.
Because it usually be like, all right, you play the outside. You're an outside linebacker. You're a defensive end. You're at the end. It's pretty self-explanatory. So I guess this would be like a defensive end. Because what was his number? Oh no, you can't go by college numbers because they don't go by position, so that wouldn't matter. But I was gonna say what his number was. You can usually get a good idea. But
let's go.
All right, Colts are on the clock. QB guaranteed, right?
Will you give me Anthony Richardson? Do I have an answer? It's either going to be Millis or Anthony Richardson. I have Anthony Richardson because was
the QB who played for University of Tennessee mixing up in the draft this year, or was he going into the draft? I think he's a black kid. I forget his last name.
If it's a black kid, then it's Richardson, maybe.
Could that be it? Maybe. I think the guy's name. He was pretty good. And I don't know if he was a sophomore I think he had to be a sophomore, right? But
he's Florida. Sorry, Richardson's Florida.
Okay. All right. Celtics are up 7-2 here. Off to a nice start here. So let's get this game going.
I like this. But I mean, I've already broken even.
Yeah.
So
you bet the Celtics win the series?
No, I didn't. I didn't bet that, but they will.
I know you bet that just the Bruins win the series, right?
Yeah, they'll give me $30.
Nice. Some spending cash.
Well, I haven't even touched my FanDuel. So
there you go.
That's still 438.
You have plenty of money to blow over in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah.
I am thinking about. I'm going to ask the guys too, but I'm curious. So we're going to the baseball game itself on Sunday at 4:00. I think I'm going to take the stadium tour in the morning. It's at 10:30 in the morning. Walk down, take the tour, and then come back for you guys.
I'm going. I'll go.
You want to do the tour?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I think it's like $22 for the tour. The tour is more than the freaking, but it takes you like onto the field, into the stands. It's probably something very similar to the Fenway tour.
Yeah.
So, but you got to get tickets ahead of time. All right. So I'll count you in. It's like 10:30 Sunday morning. You walk over there. It's
Yeah.
like an hour tour. And then we'll just go back to the hotel, grab lunch, and then head to we'll be in the neighborhood anyways, which is kind of cool. We're in the area, so. But,
well, the cash you give me is going to be my betting money for the weekend. I'm not going to use the apps. I like going to the booths, actually.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fun. So,
yeah, you should have 113 coming back. If anyone who hasn't paid attention to the show for the last month or last 3 months, we're going to the Kentucky Derby next weekend. So we'll have a show before that. We'll have a pre-Derby show Thursday night, pumping us up for this thing.
I know. It's starting to get more real. It's definitely my hype is starting to rise. I'm probably going to wear my hat to the office a couple days next week just to start the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
My fedora, my hat.
It's going to be a wild weekend of a lot of unknowns. I think most of this trip, the only thing that's not unknown is our lodging, our transportation, and our objectives when we're there. What we don't know is our environments, all the co-stars of this trip. This is basically our buddy Eric, of course, we know, who's always on the show, getting married, bachelor party. He has different groups of friends. He has his army friends over here. He has his restaurant friends 10 years before I knew him over here. Then he has like his restaurant friends from like when I worked. And then he has like friends with Adam and other people we did like podcasts and pub crawls with us. So he has like, but on some of the groups know each other. Like some have touched occasionally.
They've touched tips.
Yeah, but they never ever been like ever there all together, right? Which I guess is similar to a lot of weddings. You have a lot of people at a wedding that all get into the same place, never before. So we're gonna be in a bus for a day at a race at a weekend for this matter with these gentlemen from 4 different groups of Mr. Powell's life. All people, the most people I've probably met was maybe 2 people or 3. I'll have met you, the Kareem fella, and Skippy. So there's 3 of you saying I've met before. The rest of the guys I have no idea. I've never met before. And I think it's like likewise going this way too. So
yeah,
it would be a very interesting weekend. Hopefully everyone gets along very nicely. But yeah, it is starting to get real because I'm starting to get like I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this.
Yeah.
Keep checking the flight, make sure everything's still on time, everything looks good.
Anthony Richardson.
Go
2 for 2. Sorry.
Updates fast. Fine. Oh, do you have another one going in, or just to keep things interesting?
I do have. The next one isn't over. The next 2 are kind of bigger long shots. Those are the 2 that I was kind of hoping for the best. But I have Devin Witherspoon going after over 6.5. After pick 6.5.
Okay.
So he'd have to be.
Okay.
I had took Peter Skornowski O-line for the Bears at pick 9 just to give Fields protection because he's a young buck and he runs a lot. So that was just kind of a rationale pick, you know. Yeah. I do believe that. All right, I'm hot. I'm not going with any. I'm not picking here for anything, but I'm going to say that the Seahawks are going to go with Jalen Carter because they like convicts. He could have been like the number 2 or 3 pick, but he got arrested during the combine for drag racing and someone died. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Here's a little tip out there. If you have a son or daughter who possibly could be a difference of a good day being a millionaire and not being a millionaire, is you tell them that, hey, listen, you have an opportunity to be a millionaire overnight and have a nice career playing something that you enjoy doing. Don't do anything stupid.
Yeah, don't do anything stupid.
Drag race. You know what I mean?
And if you're going to send naked photos of yourself, don't show your face.
Right. It's a couple things you don't want to do. You don't want to send it from your phone number that's actually us. You don't want to do your face, or check for reflections. Make sure there's no reflection of your face in a background mirror or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Make sure your feet on it with or your Super Bowl ring, like our friend Brett Favre.
Or if you want to lie but still kind of be honest, find a picture online of somebody else that you're like, yeah, that looks like mine.
sucks my dick. Like they're gonna remember. Like they're gonna be in a lineup. Tricked me on that one. I was like, oh, I know what yours looks like. I know what yours. Like you're comparing the picture. I'm like, it was a good shadow. You know, you get the good angle. So sometimes you get like, whoa, look at that angle. That's pretty good. But I just don't understand girls getting any enjoyment out of that. Like, why would the girl want to see that? Like, like Seinfeld made it best. Like, a woman's body is like a piece of art. It's nice to look at. It's very like attractive. He goes like a guy's body is like a Jeep. It's built for just getting around and being durable, right? It's not like you know what I mean. Like if like a girl was using a belt sander naked, it would look a hell of a lot better than if a guy was like using a belt sander naked. You know what I mean?
You got a point there. Yeah, you're onto something.
When you think about it, it's like, yeah, a guy's body's like a Jeep. It's just made to do stuff, move stuff, build stuff, strong. And like a woman's there to be elegant and look nice and pop babies out and stuff, be equipped for that interior infrastructure. You know what I mean?
I like it. Well, I've always said the body's like a car. The more miles you put on it, it's going to break down. It's
right. And the more you abuse it and fuck with it, it's not going to be very nice to you,
Not at all. No.
Seahawks are still on the clock. I don't know how we even got on the topic of naked belt sander.
I don't know either.
Way off on the reservation on that one. Celtics. Ooh, that's a nice dunk by Tatum right there. Here we go. This is action-packed tonight. Action-packed. But yeah.
Blowing them out yet?
It's 16-10. They could play a little bit better defense, put it that way.
Yeah, they're going to get ahead by 20, and then they're going to be ahead by 10, and then they're going to be ahead by 5.
I will never, ever feel safe if they weren't up by at least 30, to be honest with you. Because I've seen them below 20-plus point leads many times over the last couple of years. So I don't care if there's like 5 minutes left and you're up by 20. I'm still not going to write the other team off. I still think they have a chance. You know what I mean?
I don't blame you.
Oh, funny story. There was a guy sent at the bar last night. Comes in all the time. He was betting last night that Steph Curry hits 33 points and Golden State wins the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's getting close to the end of the game. He needs like 9 points for Curry, but they're only up by like 8. I'm like, well, maybe they go overtime. Then you get if they get the win, then you get the things. They didn't go overtime. They just kind of played around, right? So Steph Curry gets the ball. He shoots a ball and misses it, but he gets fouled, right? The kid needs a 33. If Steph Curry hits both of his shots, he'd be at 33. Okay. Mm-hmm. The spread was 32.5. Right. Steph Curry gets to the line. There's no time left in the clock. There's like an eighth of a second. Right. And there's no chance of even getting more points. Hits his first free throw. Now the guy's like, all right, now 32.5. I'm at 32. One more. I win the bet. Because Golden State's going to win because they're so high up anyways. Right. Wouldn't you know it? Steph Curry, who almost never misses free throws,
missed it.
Bangs this thing off the top. And I'm like, did someone go to him on the bench and say, hey, Vegas called? They got a lot of money on the over. I go, if you can miss a shot kind of thing.
I don't think so. They just know. Vegas just competitors are competitors. You know what I mean? They don't want to, and that wouldn't happen. That'd be very unlikely.
Both those Celtics and the Bruins games were plus 250-ish, right? Going into the nights before they played, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, in retrospect, you bet $250 to win 100, right? Now, it just went up as the day went on, too. Don't you think sometimes it's a little manipulated a little bit to try to get the money going back to the yellow?
Yeah. Oh, of course it is. But when the game's already going, it's probably not. Think about it, though. These nerds have these algorithms down to a T. Remember at the Red Sox game? It knew the over-under miles per hour on the fucking spot. That is some impressive math. It just knows, you know?
It is interesting. So, yeah, I guess so. So, yeah, I guess you're right. So everything's figuring it out for us, but it's kind of crazy. I don't know.
Pick is in for the Seahawks. Like I said, I think it's going to be Jalen Carter, but I wouldn't be surprised if he fell further because of his rap sheet. But the Seahawks are the type of team willing to take risks.
Yeah, and if he gets next up, that is the Lions. If he gets picked by them or Vegas, they're also known for the criminals. Wasn't it the Cincinnati Bengals though statistically have the most convicted criminals who played for them out of all the teams?
I think you're right. I think it was the
Like,
Bengals. Yeah.
Like 108 was the number or something like that. I was.
I feel like the
like,
Raiders are up there too. The Raiders seem to have a lot of people that get in legal troubles.
It was like a 40 for. I think it was like a 40 for 40 about like the criminals of the Cincinnati Bengals or something like that. It was like all the bad guys that ran through the team. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty impressive. You get that many criminals. Like you know, like look at the guy who's drafted. He's like, maybe he's a criminal. Maybe he can sense these other criminals. You know what I mean? Like you're picking them up and like, yeah.
Like, let's see how good this algorithm is. Because like I said, I need Witherspoon to go 7th. Remember the pick was over under 6.5. So I'll be interested if he fucking, like I said, it just knows. They just have it down. So I wouldn't be shocked if Witherspoon goes at 6th. I would not be shocked because that's just the way they just fucking, it's crazy how it works,
So it's cool they have these drafts in different cities now. Remember like all the bachelorettes were pissed off a few years ago when they had the draft in Nashville and it took up the entire Broadway up and everything?
Yeah.
So this is in Kansas City. So they're doing this thing. It's called the Power and Light District. It's in like downtown KC. Picture Faneuil Hall with a giant roof over all the bars. And you check an ID once to get into, but you have access to like 7, 8, 9 different restaurants and bars all underneath a big giant roof with a band that plays. And basically, once you get in, it's a nightclub that doesn't cost anything.
What you just said sounds like the smelliest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
It was so cool. It was all open air. Right? It was all.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking like a giant dome of bars.
No. It was like the sides were open, but there was like kind of like a roof over. So if it rained and stuff, because they get a lot of rain, I guess, and you can still have and stuff play. It was really, really cool.
But, Witherspoon gone. It was where they picked Witherspoon. Wow.
Is that what you thought? Right.
I thought he'd go 5th. He could go 5th or 6th. I said he'd go over 6th. He went 5th. So no, I didn't win that one. But that's okay. He went 5th. Fucking A. Oh well.
Witherspoon. And where do you think Witherspoon was gonna go?
I said after 6. I picked the over.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
See, so close. It just knows, man.
So what's Green Bay get a draft? Who's their quarterback?
It would fucking be hilarious if they drafted a wide receiver, since Aaron Rodgers always bitched about it. Now that he's gone, they get a wide receiver. That would be hilarious.
According to this, it says they need a tight end and a wide receiver. Imagine if they draft like the best wide receiver for the year too, and Aaron Rodgers is stuck for the jamokes he has in the Jets. How do you think that's really going to go down over in the Jets? I mean, honestly, listen, don't get me wrong. He's a good quarterback. He probably still has some in the tank. He's like a Brady. I would never settle down on him, but it's the fucking Jets.
Yeah. It depends how motivated he is, I guess you could say, right?
But like, how motivated are you to the point where you just get frustrated and you just say, fuck it, right? Because nothing's really going to happen. Like, at this point, all right, you get he's got what? 1 Super Bowl win, right? Okay, cool. But you now, like, what else you got to prove? So if you go halfway into the season next year, you already got paid, so it doesn't really matter. And it's starting to suck really, really bad. You just say like, yeah, I'm gonna get out of this before this building burns down.
Well, it is the place where quarterbacks, go to die. You're like Flacco, Favre.
Yeah, fucking. It's like, yeah, and I don't know. It's just, what's with like AFC East, just like quarterbacks just moving team to team too. It's like a weird thing too, huh? Like there's so many quarterbacks that played at all or some of the teams in the AFC East. It's like, it would be weird just to play for an opposing like that. Like, I don't know, unless you have so much videotape on that quarterback anyways, because you play him so often, it actually helps you to want to pick him up because you know a lot more about him than someone else, I guess. Maybe that's the case.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But that's freaking crazy. These so are we an hour or so? We're about excuse me.
Well, it started a little after 8. It's hilarious. We're only on like pick 6, and it's almost been an hour since this draft started.
It's been 45 minutes. We're on 6 picks and with 32 teams. Well, did we figure out why there's only 31 picks this year?
Oh, that's right. Because the Dolphins got penalized. Remember they had a pick taken away for tampering?
Yeah, for trying to get Tom Brady to be on the team.
Yeah, so the Dolphins, they're out first round.
Is that what did they take a first from the Patriots too when they fined us that time when Tom got?
Yes, they certainly did. Yeah. Yeah.
That just seems fucked up. The first round pick. I understand you did something bad and you gotta set a precedence,
Yeah.
but like that hurts way more than say taking like a third round pick and like finding you like $1 million. Like these owners would rather pay $1 million than lose the pick. You know what I mean?
It's funny how Tom Brady's behind a two teams losing their first round pick in his career.
I know. Like what are they saying? Were they trying to talk Tom into becoming like a quarterback for them or something like that? Or it was like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't remember
a player coach who's going to be like Bill Russell, who's going to be coaching the calling the offensive lines and playing quarterback at the same time.
Yeah. I don't know.
I always wonder. Well, that's another thing. I didn't even think of that. Like, why isn't the quarterback the offensive coordinator?
Because you need to give somebody a job, you know.
Yeah, but like, so like at the end of the day, right? You're a quarterback, you're getting the calls called to you.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of times they call audibles, so a lot of time they will just do it themselves because they're a spin. They know the plays. If they're developing, or I guess maybe just to develop the plays, maybe they just need an assistant quarterback, offensive coordinator. Because imagine how fast the game would go if the quarterback's out there the entire time, and he's just getting radioed in by like someone giving like some like, oh, this defense or this whatever like that, not necessarily giving plays.
Wow. So hold on. The Cardinals just traded up, even after trading down. Remember, the Cardinals were originally number 3. They traded down to 12. Now they just traded up to 6. That pick, I'm looking at it right now because it originated in Cleveland, went to Houston, went to Arizona. Now it's Detroit. Like pick 12 is like the freaking redheaded stepchild.
Okay. So tell me this one. Why would you do this?
You know what might have happened? Maybe they saw an opening because, all right, maybe they didn't think that Seattle was going to go Witherspoon, and they were like, shit, they didn't. Maybe they saw that they weren't going to get Carter, and they're like, you know what, we got to jump on this because if the Lions aren't going to get him, we want him. Let's go after him. That could be it.
Because I'm looking right now, Cardinals don't have any more picks in the first round, but maybe there was plays involved too. Would that tell you if there's plays involved?
I don't know, but they obviously saw something to jump. I don't think that was in the game plan. I think they were probably thinking Seattle was going to go one way, it didn't, and now they want the pick. They thought Seattle was going to go after.
And very interesting looking at it too, because the Seahawks right there, Cardinals, then they're the same division, so they're very much like you want to make sure you're able to beat them out there and get ahead of anyone else, I guess, in that division. But God, dry cough. I would say it's COVID, but I don't think it exists anymore. According to the government, if you want to go that way.
They'll just rebrand it.
Oh, does that mean we can go to Canada? People can go to Canada now, not being vaccinated.
Yeah,
right?
I think Canada's fine now. Yeah.
There you go. All right, let's go to Canada.
Damn, that was the whole hour we wasted.
Yeah.
Talking.
Oh, craziness. Quite the montage tonight. But you plugging anything, big guy?
No, I'm good. I'm good, my friend. Hey, your friend never showed up.
Probably got drunk and passed out in a pocket.
Well, next Thursday we'll have our full Derby preview.
Yes. Adam's gonna give you the rundown of who he thinks he's gonna win.
Fuck yeah.
He's gonna think. I'm just gonna sit there and be like, yeah, that sounds good to me. I'm actually gonna when's the official list come out?
I think it should be out. I mean, next week. I mean, and early in the week, yeah.
So I'm gonna go. I might film this too. I'll go to my son and I'll name him all the horses, and I'll have him pick the 4 horses he wants to show. That's the bet I'm gonna make.
Yeah, put him on like a giant thing and have him throw randomly.
So maybe I'll do 2. Maybe I'll let him pick because of their names, and then maybe I'll have him throw like dots at it.
Yeah, whatever it lands on.
Because the name ones would be funny because he'll think like names are funny. If I go like maybe it was like the Mad Fodder, like was the name of a horse, right? He'd be like, that's funny. I like that one. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna do show. I'm gonna do him pick 4. I'm not gonna tell you who's. I don't know who's gonna win. I just want him to show because you
all right.
So much. So
I like it.
We'll do that next week. Yeah. So see you guys later.
All right, my friend. Peace.
All right, social. We'll see you guys next.